There you go. Ooh, day. Welcome to No Cap, man. Another day. Yeah, I can't even get too much energy. Today's not one of them high energy ride day. Not today. We just coasting. We keeping the scene today. Really, today's theme was pretty on par with that. Seen a lot of things and had a lot of conversations, especially right after the show yesterday. The idea I kept coming across, phrase I kept, is we doing. And I seen so outrageous. State Fair was in Indianapolis. Folks was fighting. Kids was fighting. And videos are old, but still, every time you see them, it's still like, wow. And after the State Fair, you got a bunch of kids just posted at a gas station. Up, with nowhere to go. For each child, you just like, where's your parent? They said like 50 kids, 50 sets of parents, so 100 different adults. And you don't know. Another day, you got the KKK light, all lowercase letters, no caps, marching through the streets, not bothering nobody, just trying to instigate an issue. And the actual incidents aren't even as flagrant as the reaction to the incident or the train of thought that follows in kids. But each time I'm thinking like, you doing? For example, like with the mayonnaise maidens and pasty pilgrims marching dressed in all black, covering their face to maintain their anonymity, just walking through the streets, yelling, cussing, speaking their truth, just like they not hurting nobody and they're really harmless. So let me get the reaction that they got from my perspective as a black man. Like, how do I care? It's not bothering me. Ignorance is gonna be ignorant. They're gonna do what they want to do anyway. Me getting upset about it came outside for. How do I care? The other side, folks like, well, this could be your doctor, your dentist, your local business. Like to me, I still don't care as long as they do their job. You hate me, oh well. All my money, you wouldn't have a way to survive. Whatever you do in your free time, cool. Just keep that over there. You didn't come to my house. You come to my community. Didn't go to anybody's house that I know. You went to a public place. You hid yourself because you didn't have enough support or gumption or confidence to just openly spout your opinion away. I do on this podcast with this platform, my face, all these unpopular opinions. You're gonna hear them all. You're gonna see the face attached to them. You didn't have the same level of fortitude to do the same. So knew that what they were doing wrong. So if they already showing signs of guilt, why do I care? Why do you care? You, you can't control their opinion. If they think how they think, this is gonna be it. There's no persuading them. How they feel is how they feel. And in today's world, you feel is what matters most. Validate your feelings. That's what matters most in today's world. So that's how they feel. Oh well. Keep it to yourself. It's when you step across that line and you cross a boundary, then that's when you get checked. Until then, I play too much, man. Love Dave Chappelle though. Bye. Do you? But on to the next thing. Like, there are a lot of situations popping up with these kids, with a lot of the incidents at the fair being teenagers. You can tell that they don't fight, never had to fight life. They just bad because for everything from the stance, delivery, all of it just it it was terrible. Oh, that you couldn't even call that fighting. That was, they was out there corralling, but they was corralling. But I ain't say fighting because oh, that was gotta be ashamed of yourself. But with all these kids out being dangerous and doing whatever they feel like they want, and no parental advisory is being administered, it makes you go back to the question again, because it's not really an age or a generation thing. It's more so an effort. People find excuses more than ever before. Past generations, I'm talking about 2 or 3 generations before me, there aren't any excuses. These are my responsibilities. This is my goals. Make sure my slate is clean. Gotta get it all done. No matter how I feel, no matter what my health is, none of these mitigating circumstances come into factor. I need to get all of these things done. And then, but from there, we've gone all the way to how I feel matters most. I remember rest. All of these different excuses people give themselves outs, not to handle abilities, and not take accountability for the decisions they make. And it shows in the kids because whether you like it or not, they see everything. And it's monkey see, monkey do. So the best and worst qualities you have, your kids pick up from with. So if you show that anything goes, you don't stand on anything, there's no guidelines for how you live your life, that's exactly what the kids are going to do. Then take it that beyond that. This is the approach they pick up. And then immediately after that, there's no discipline, no structure, there's no game being given, life experiences being shared. Figure it out for yourself. And this isn't even my generation, not even their kids. It's the generation before us and after our parents. So aunts and uncles and them, they picked up the bad behaviors of our parents' generation, exacerbated them. And my generation, we see ourselves as worse off than that generation. So 5, 10 years, kids is out right now. When when the update drops, you get that new batch. Ain't gonna be nothing you're gonna be able to tell. Downhill. And brings you back to the question of, what we doing? It's an honest question. Like, for anybody that has kids, sit down and think about what your childhood looked like. Who you remember being present, who you remember not seeing much of as you grew up, who came in and out of your life, who did the nurturing, who did the educating, who was your role model, who your mentor, had any, who were your influences, what lessons they teach you. Now think about pros and cons to all the adults and all of these influences. Think about the pros and cons, the impact they've had on you, where they could have done better, what they could have done, what they did right, all of these things. Now, think about it in relation to kids and how their decisions play a part in how you're raising your kids. Would you say you're doing a better job, an equivalent job, a worse off job? Really like rate yourself in comparison to what you experienced as a child, and then make the correlation. Take your time. Okay, now, what was your answer? Okay. Now, do the same thing for friends, their parenting, co-workers, their parenting, and the other students that your kids school with, their parents. Okay. Now, if you're being honest, it really doesn't matter who you are, where you are. According to the consensus opinion of the state of the world, state of society, that the United States today, can only be one answer. According if we being truthful on the analytical side, self-assessment, comparing it to general outlook, only be one answer. Somebody messing up. We doing. And you got to do that self-reflection before you can even start to build a plan on what the next steps are. And it's mandatory because at this rate we going, bro. All this ain't even gonna work. Folks are already getting emboldened. Come take your car. Come impose themselves on you. Now, what's to stop them from just taking everything from anybody? Stop them from cannibalizing themselves. Already doing it. Like the topic we're gonna get to. There's no limits to ignorance, and at the rate we at with a recession in parenting, mentorship, and guidelines, and any kind of structure, really anything goes. What we doing? Like already did the self-reflection. The next step after that is our goals. Like, what are you trying to achieve? Bro? What's the point in all of this? And anything that you do in your life, what's the point? What is your end goal? As people, like, and this is definitely for African American people. What is our end goal? What are we working towards? You sit down and think about it for 3 seconds, you can tell that the answer is nothing. Not to acquire resources. Because the most important resources we don't, not to educate ourselves because the intelligence gap is increasing between us and overseas educational systems. Not education, it is not resources, but influence. We got the same level of influence that we always had. So what are we doing? What are we working towards? That's easy question to ask, but you're not gonna get an honest answer because there is no answer. We don't have any structure, discipline. We don't have any unilateral decision making, any hierarchy, nothing. We just out, just doing whatever. And that's at a macro level. So when you see how the kids are moving at a micro level, it's a microcosm of the bigger movement. The movement took nowhere. Just we not going forward, we not going backward, not going left, not going right. We just chase my tail. Which brings me to the ultimate point of the day with the question I'm at. We doing. So I'm on social media, right? I'm scrolling, birthdays, pictures of vacations, doing the monthly dump of all the pictures I took of myself last month, living life. Instead of just living it, I gotta take pictures of it from all of you at once, exacerbate whatever issues you have. Thought pieces, preaching on here's the Bible quote of the day, or here's how Jesus changed my life today. Then get to a post that I saw that was extremely alarming. Folks, and these are folks my age and up, made a post that was like, self defense hat ain't catching no hat. You got to be sliding on folk with an intention, laid in the bush straight like that. And it hit me right in the face. Similar to that reaction, just, man, what? Folks have etiquette and guidelines to murder, but not to raising kids. Folks establishing rules on the appropriateness of murder, how you should go about it, but not how to teach your kids to follow instructions. Nobody else saying it, I'm gonna say it. You're stupid. You sound stupid. You look stupid. Say it one more time so you can hear it. Like, folks are posting think pieces on the proper way to kill somebody. Majority of the time, it's somebody that looks like them. So, how a nigga should kill another nigga. I'm gonna drop a thought piece on the way to go about it. But there's no opinion on, hey man, kids should do this or shouldn't do that. Bewildering to me because why are you so invested in murder that there's a particular set of ways that you heard it be done, but you're not particular about how your kids are raised or how other adults treat them or how they treat other people when they go outside. Not even confusing, it's dumbfounding because it shows what your focus is on. It shows that you also ain't got no goals because there's no way you can have it. Your goal is to kill somebody and take their life. That's it. So your only goal is to prevent somebody else from achieving there. Like there's a real competition right now in the streets. Folks like I'm collecting hats. And for folks that don't know what that means, I'm killing somebody. In video game terminology, headshot, body, murder, completely done. But it's bled over to real life. Folks are blurring lines where now we're gonna treat Call of Duty like life in the community. Same rules apply. I feel like it. If your hobby is guns and you want to shoot at people so bad, why don't you join the army? You can shoot all the guns you want. You know why? Folks don't want no structure, don't want no discipline. I want to be able to do what I want when I want. Why do you need that freedom? No reason, because I'm not working towards it. This is just high nigga living. Dumbass. You, there's no way to explain it to make it make sense. It's real deal mental illness. And if you try to have a conversation with folks, you'll see the lack of intelligence. And here are a few other attenuating circumstances that always seem to be present, like excessive use of alcohol, substance abuse, yes, weed, nigga, lack of education, lack of perspective, so never truly traveled anywhere. There's almost zero cultural exposure. Specific type of environment, specific type of music, specific type of entertainment, and extreme behavior or long history of rash decision making. All those things seem to be present amongst these folks. And the crazy part is, it's a growing number of people becoming more normalized and popular because, again, the most infectious behavior to have is not give a fuck. There's nothing more influential than people who don't care for your validation. And it's a double-edged sword because on one side, if you're doing something productive, you'll pull people along with the productivity. But if you're on this side, pull people over to this side of the fence where, shoot, they don't care about the rules. Why should I? We don't respect the rules over here. We are habitual lying stuff on this side. But there's nothing to be accomplished at the end of that. I'm gonna say this shit, do this shit to look cool till one day you realize that who used to be the majority is no longer the majority. There's a long history behind it. Nothing being accomplished. I impressed some folk and gained nothing from it. And that's typically around the late 40s, 50s, where folks get to a point where they're like, dang, I wasted a good chunk of my life on some bullshit. And instead of using myself as an example and going and talking to people, telling them, nah, don't ever take the next one. Folks just that chill out, we're gonna quiet it down and move along. And as the generation behind you takes again your behaviors and the things they learn from you, then they take that and put an exponent on that, expand on it. Folks just let it slide because again, you place the rules and guidelines on how to go about killing a nigga, and not rules and guidelines on how to raise children up to be productive adults. So you've invested your time into this, so it's been automatically determined that this is important. So the next generation invests everything into this, and they don't know anything else. So you having no goals went to kids who don't even acknowledge there's such things that are goals or as goals to ask them to, man, nigga, I'm just eating. So again, you doing accomplish something. Do you want anything for yourself or for others around? Is anything important to you? Not, then who? Trust me, like, and I mean this as affectionately as possible. You want nothing for your life, for others around you, and you just here, do everybody a favor. Don't move out of the way. I don't care how you do it, just out here. Move around. Because ain't nothing good coming from you being around here. Don't hand skedaddle. Because for the people who have an answer and they're moving towards something and working for something, you're in the way. Your influence, your behavior, your example is detrimental to anything. It's the purest essence, toxicity. You got to move around. You got to. I don't know where you're gonna go, but you got to get the out of here because there's got to be a purpose to this. We are here for a reason. And popular opinion, majority of people aren't here to accomplish anything other than to be an example for somebody who is. So if there's 10 people in the line, 7 or 8 of them, their only job is to be an example for the 2 or 3 to learn from. You were their guinea pig. You're the test crash dummy. Your sole purpose of being here to be looked at as an experiment, learn from, and then completely avoid it after that. You're not going to accomplish nothing. And that's okay. If God or wherever you believe in put you here for you to be an example, be the best example you can be. But for y'all that don't even want to entertain that much, got to go. Move around. Adios. Peace. Bye bye, pup nigga. You got the you got to leave. It's the only thing that makes sense. Because now to spin it into get back on the productive side of the conversation is we doing. Like, understand I'm in the podcast space, right? And also how many followers I have, how many subscribers I have, how many people watch live, or how many people catch it, let's say, even after I pass, watch this video. There has to be a purpose. And you have to understand the space that you're in, the potential influence you can have, and the potential effects of your actions and your words. And I'm aware that right now, main podcast topic or discussion is about dating. And most folks don't really understand why. It's just gonna pay attention to it. So why not talk about what people want to hear about? The plan I'm planning on, of course, commenting on that because no topic is off the board. But me, there's purpose. I had a conversation, especially in the Black community, about dating because in order for community to move forward, it starts at home with families. And unless you had a conversation on how to go about it, who needs to be involved, what needs to be done, formulating structure in today's environment, we build the home. Can't get nowhere. And we seeing that right now with all the transactional relationships that come and go, divorce numbers higher than ever, with marriage numbers lower than ever, resources being scarce, structure being gone, mental health all across the board, physical health plummeting. All of these issues be exacerbated for the structure. And the way to initiate structure in the world that we in today is to have a conversation to begin with on what's going wrong, what's going right, what different perspectives are, who's involved, we got here, and the potential pitfalls or influences that could undercut what's trying to be achieved. And with, of course, the dating conversation, these conversations are surface level because until you had a conversation and the reflection on how we got here, same, I just had this little thematic process of we doing same thing with dating. How did we get here? What's the end goal? All right, bet. How do we get out ahead of the issues and then build from the ground up? With dating, especially in, again, Black community, you're dealing with the results of government influence, laws being passed, certain ramifications and standards that have to be met in order for A, B, and C to be accomplished. So, of course, Section 8, welfare, crack epidemic, three strikes laws, headlining, gentrification, all of these things that have influenced the Black community and the Black household. Then the feminist movement, which is now influencing the isolated African American female. We separated the household. We basically broke up y'all homes. And we're gonna continue doing what we always been doing, Black men. Just keep them at the bottom of the totem pole, killing them whenever we get a chance, or getting excuse to, limiting the resources, and the bigger than that, limiting your connectivity to the rest of the world. So limiting your network and limiting your ability to learn and experience new cultures. We're gonna do that to the Black man on this side the way we always have. On the Black woman on the other side, ideology into you where you're no longer gonna even look for the Black man. We got him around back of the shed, beating the shit out of him. But we won't take y'all to the front of the shed and we're gonna throw eggs at you. We're gonna put tomatoes at you. We're gonna throw rocks at you, pull your hair, tear your dress. But at the same time, offer you an olive branch. But you just come over here to the big house, dress yourself like this, behave like this. You don't have to deal with any of these issues no more. Of course, once you get inside the big house, you're not gonna see that nigga no more. Nah, we gonna get rid of him. But if you don't want to take this abuse, follow me. And it's the same people that are dishing out the abuse that are offering the assistance. And that is what we fight right now. Birdman behind the shed, we gotta get him from behind the shed and get rid of whoever's doing him bad. Girlfriend in the front getting abused, her abusing her, we gotta cut that out. We gotta do them bad. And then we gotta sit both of them down to conversation on what they experienced, how they think they experienced that, how to grow from that, how to make sure it doesn't happen again. And that quick illustration is what's going on in the dating world between Black men and Black women. Where because you're going through your own struggles and your own issues, it's gotten to the point where the same people who are abusing you convince you that you've been abandoned by the other side. Remember, it's the same group. This group is working in unison. They done took him over here, took her over there. Same group that's abusing you and putting you through your own struggle is telling you that the other side abandoned you to struggle by yourself. The cold, cold game. And then once you go through that mental Olympics, or they put you through that rigmarole, they then presented you all of these issues and then pointed it at a party that's absent. Then what? Now you got to parse through what's real and what isn't real. You got to figure out what's going on the other side. And then you have to take time for yourself to heal yourself, to get past the traumatic event you experienced in order to try to build something productive out of the situation. But all of this is happening while both parties are blindfolded. So you don't know what's going on. Both got to take the blindfolds off for themselves in order to even understand that they getting put through it. And without taking off the blindfolds, folks just perpetuating these same ideas to each other. So you start to abuse yourself. Start thinking about what you could have done better without even considering the end goal. It's just, man, I'm suffering right now. Feel bad about myself. I'm just gonna perpetuate this. So no, no room to grow because I've been abused so long. Now I'm abusing myself and abusing people who had nothing to do. And it's just the psychological game that's being played behind closed doors. And once you get an understanding of what's going on in these situations, it's easier to go about entertaining the conversation because you know the ins and outs of the history and you have foresight on what the future needs to look like, should look like. So having a conversation in the present becomes easy. You got to educate yourself, man, but it can't be one person. One person has to spread it to the next person. And it has to grow exponentially. Two talk to four, who talk to eight, talk to 16, to 32, to 64, 128, and then so on and so forth. But you got to have to learn, love of learning, and the love of teaching. And that's what a lot of black folk are Muslim or Christian. That's what your religion ties to be a student and to be a teacher, have understanding, and to help others achieve the same level of understanding. So this is a conversation about things that passed, things that are happening, things to come. But you got to have some kind of foresight when you living in the present. And in each situation that you entertain, you got to ask yourself about yourself and about others and question what the fuck is we doing? But we'll get to it, man. Like again, trying to build this consistency day at a time. You might see the videos changing up, graphics, new overlays, certain situations. Trying to build it up so it's easy to digest for folk, but at the same time, want to include too many bells and whistles because I don't want you to be distracted from what's going on in the conversation. And again, it's trying to get 0.01 to 1% better every day. That's building the structure and having the procedural conversations before you start having the micro detailed conversation, being able to speak on specific situations, personal situations, and being able to adapt because it's easier to speak on specific instances. It's easier to converse about the exception when you understand the importance of the rule. But